What's up, my beautiful people? With our never-ending goal of trying to make people's lives a little bit brighter, we're back again with another daily dose of Reddit Hope and Happy, going back into r/GetDisciplined today to talk about how you are the one in control of your life. So, let's get to it. Our first post is from user Entropy Fighter. Make a decision. You are in control. A common starting point I've seen to getting disciplined is to find your why. That has never worked for me. For me, it was still too ephemeral. Like, you don't need a why to spend your day on YouTube and Netflix, but all of a sudden, to try and accomplish something, you need a why? For me, it was a demand I was unwilling to meet. So, what changed? Well, for me, it was a matter of control. I came to an understanding that you don't have to do anything. Time will pass and you'll get what you're given. If you're okay with that, then fine. Stay in bed. Let others decide your fate. But if you want something, anything, you have to decide you want it. That's not the same as finding your why. It's as simple as saying, I want out of debt, or I want to be liked, or I want to lose weight, or I want to find a significant other. Once you choose what you want, and that's what it is, a choice, it's up to you to do something about it. Mind you, you don't have to, but you either make your own destiny or leave it up to others. What I've found is that once you commit yourself to getting what you want, you frequently get it. And you always get more of it than if you hadn't made the choice. There are books that call this the law of attraction, but those are fancy words for a simple principle. To help you, there's one simple rule that will help you along the way. You change what you measure. Do you want to change your financial situation? Start looking at your bank balance every day. Want to lose weight? Get on the scale every day. It's simple. You change what you measure. Why? Because you affect the things that consume your focus. Well, except for the things that don't change from your focus. A YouTube video won't change because you watch it, but your bank balance will. Why? Because one is escapism, and the other forces you into making more decisions. There's a great book that I'm not even recommending you read, but it's available if you want, called The War of Art. The basic question it asks is of creative types. Why is it that creative people have such a hard time being creative? The name the author gives to that reason is called resistance. We've all felt this before. What I've learned over time is that resistance is the thing you don't want to do, and also the thing you should most do. It's your true north. When you find yourself not wanting to do that which you know you should, that's what you should do. Don't want to do that piece of work? Okay, but there's money on the other side. Don't want to talk to that girl or boy that you've met, or know, or have crushed on for some time? Okay, but the only way you get him or her is to approach them and strike up a conversation. Don't want to count calories or exercise? Okay, but that's how you get more fit, etc. It feels hard when you're starting, but it's only hard because you're at the start. Once you get in the flow, your brain will optimize for it and it will become much easier. Example, if you've ever done any strength training, especially with compound barbell movements like a low bar back squat, you'll know the feeling that it's difficult to get the form right at the beginning, even with a lightweight. But within a week or two, your central nervous system figures out what you're trying to do, and that which was hard 1 to 2 weeks ago quickly becomes easier and more routine. Then you slowly add weight, and that's how you get stronger. Your entire physiology is built to adapt. The first step to being good at something is being bad at something. But let me repeat, you change what you measure. In this example of strength training, you're measuring how much weight you can put on the bar. You start with an empty bar and add 5 pounds each time, 3 times a week. It sounds crazy to people, but with the right program, you can put 90 pounds on that bar every 6 weeks for 4 to 6 months. Why? Because your body adapts to it. But to get to 315 pounds on your squat, you start where you have to and work up. Same is true for money, sex, love, or anything else your heart desires. It's important to understand that you don't have to, but that you get to. You can roll over and go back to bed. It's comfortable, it's easy, but you get nothing from doing it. You're just hitting pause on your life. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. But we all only have so much life force in us. The question you have to ask yourself is, do you want anything else besides lying in bed? Or is that all you want from life? The only difference between you now and you getting that or those things is a decision. You are in control and there's no backup. Nobody is coming to save or rescue you. It's on you. Know that success is in you, but you must actively choose it. And then you must choose it again. You didn't get into your situation in a day and you won't get out of it in a day. But you are only required to take it one day at a time. Find out what you want and go get it. It's yours for the taking. Wow. That's kind of a bold promise there at the end, but also fairly true. OP, thank you so much for putting this up. You know, you're right, so much of what we do want to get in life depends on our willingness to go out and get it. It is easy to just tune out everything else, to just binge on YouTube or Netflix and not really care about the world around us, to not really improve. But like you said, that's just escapism. That's really stagnation. You're not going anywhere if you do that. No, the only way that we actually do anything, the only way that we actually go anywhere is if we take that time and effort to build ourselves up and to go after what it is that we want. This was a great post. It's very encouraging, and I really thank you for putting it up there. Wherever you're at, I wish you the best and stay beautiful. Our next post is from user BrownSam1997. But first, if you're enjoying the video or finding it helpful, go ahead and share this with someone that you think might be able to benefit from this message, because the whole point of this channel is to make people's lives better in even just a small way. You want some advice? Quit the internet. The internet is giving you ADHD. I wrote this as a comment in reply to another thread, but I feel it deserves its own thread and discussion. Quit the internet. Use it as a tool. The internet, such as social media sites like YouTube, Reddit, etc., is essentially like metal junk food for our brain. It feels good, but in the long run, it has no lasting benefits. Another problem is passive dopamine release. Being glued to a phone or computer on these sites is a passive reward system. You get rewarded with stupid high levels of dopamine for doing nothing but scroll, instead of actually applying yourself, using your brain, and learning. Constant stimulation and the amount of dopamine the internet gives us is unnatural and makes it difficult to perform productive tasks, because there is a delay in dopamine release until you finish the task, and the dopamine is much less than using your phone, for example. So, we've rewired our brains to expect high levels of dopamine, and anything lower and not giving us instant gratification makes it harder to perform and makes us go back to the easy dopamine fix. Essentially, the internet is like an addictive drug. When you're on it, you sit around doing nothing. When you're off it, you crave it like a real addiction. And everything else you do doesn't feel as satisfactory. This is what I do. Use the internet as a tool. So I turn off my phone and put it in a drawer and only use it as a house phone, and only for ringing and texting. When I'm on my computer, I turn off the router and only enable it when I need to use the internet for something. I list what I need to use the internet for before I turn the router on, and when I'm done, turn the router off. Doing this has enabled me to be more productive and increased my level of focus and wanting to perform productive tasks. I've basically limited my dopamine rewards to only productive tasks, so my brain gets used to being satisfied by lower amounts of dopamine that doing productive tasks reward you with. And so I'm left with a wanting and a motivation to do these tasks because I'm bored, and there's nothing else to do but productive things without the internet to give me instant gratification. As you can see, I'm using the internet right now. Am I a hypocrite? No, I'm human. I constantly fail, but always get back on track and do better next time. I said I'm quitting the internet. My end goal is to quit the internet entirely and only use it as a tool for when I need it and turning it off when I don't. As with any addiction, there are various ways to eliminate it. Cold turkey or slowly reducing it over time until cutting it out completely. I'm choosing the latter. I'm slowly reducing my time on here until 0, where I only use it as a tool and not for social media. I currently use it on Reddit and YouTube in the late evening after I'm done with my routine and all my productive mandatory tasks, but I'm slowly cutting it out to 0. Quitting the internet gives me nostalgic vibes of a time before the internet where I could concentrate and read and finish books, learn programming books, etc. without interruption for long hours. and my mind felt a lot calmer and clearer. Cutting the internet, only using it as a tool, not using your phone for anything but calling and texting, and never using social media, I feel would give you an edge over everyone in terms of productivity, as your brain isn't constantly drained and tired from the constant unproductive stimulation the internet provides. You can learn to enjoy the productive tasks and lower the amounts of dopamine by not flooding it with higher amounts from the internet all the time. And you can replace leisure time with books and other hobbies in the day. Cut the cord from the matrix, my friends. Would love to hear discussion of this piece of advice and for people to share their experience with internet moderation. Well, honestly, this ties in with the first post pretty well. I mean, it is your decision. You can go out there and get something if you're willing to do what it takes. In your case, cutting the internet. I know I probably spend way too much time on it myself, but part of that is because that's what I'm doing these days. Regardless, though, I think you're right on a lot of things here. We have kind of lost that sense of accomplishment that comes with actually achieving something, with actually completing something, because we can immediately just jump on the internet and find ourselves entertained. There's nothing to it. Be it just watching hours of stupid stuff on YouTube to easily accessible hardcore sex that dramatically rewires our brain and warps perception of what a healthy relationship is like. It's so easy to get. Maybe cutting the cord isn't such a bad idea. I think you're onto something here, and I'm definitely going to see how I can apply your advice here in my own life in some way. So thank you so much for the post. I really appreciate you putting it up there. It's very good, and wherever you're at, wish you the best and stay beautiful. Our next post is from any video in the Get Disciplined playlist here on your left, or if you want to see the video YouTube thinks would be best for you, go ahead and click that button on the right. Now, you guys stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you all on Monday. Until then, stay beautiful, people.